for the fifth and final playthrough, what we are doing is we are carrying off right from the floating city. And I'm going to speed this up a little bit because there's going to be a lot of parts of just floating around, not doing a whole lot. So I'm just going to quickly run through them, but still make sure to show you all the good parts and the things that you will need to know and things you will come across. There's going to be quite a lot of achievements in this section. 7, I do believe, so stick around. Lots to get, lots of achievements, and I'll walk you through all of them. So just after we leave the city here is a buoy that you're going to want to get. And one thing I didn't realize that, and I didn't do here, that you might want to consider, there's an achievement for picking up canisters. And I do apologize as I haven't made anyone aware of this yet. I don't have it. I haven't done it. And these are the canisters that have been blocking holes in the floor that you had to pick up to remove it from holes in the floor. And these canisters apparently are actually attached to these buoys. So you can go ahead and stop there and pick those canisters up. You have to raid 6 of them. 2 are forced to. You're forced to through the missions. 1 you're going to stumble across later in this video. And that's another one to consider. Back on track though. Once you hit this iceberg, you're going to just go down below. You're going to attach yourself to another one of these elevator shaft things that are under the water. We're just going to descend down here. You can see that this door is going to drop, but we're going to be in this elevator, multiple elevator area. So we're going to jump through to this next one here in just a moment. And we're going to try and drop down, but you can see that the machine breaks and it just plummets us. So now we're at the bottom. We don't really have a choice. We're going to wander over here to the left. And we're in this big room here. And I wasn't sure exactly how to get these just right. Essentially what the idea is, you've got this water system over here, and you're going to want to fill both of these with water. As you can see me do here by attaching it to the top of these. So they're going to act as weights. And we need to lower the entire thing to make it level. Because right now it's on a slant. So we need to level it out. And you'll see why in a second. So I attached this one here, I let it fill up. You can see, I wasn't paying attention to this actually when I did it, but on the front you can see how much water are in these. And what I did was I dragged this one just to the far left as far as I could. And I was kind of messing around to see how low I needed to get it. But you can see the machine kind of settle there once I actually get it low enough. And it balances out and stops, so that's how you know you've gone far enough. I jumped the gun earlier. Then we're going to press this button. It's going to start up the machine, it's going to go attach. Then we don't need to worry for sure about any sort of the machine lifting off again. Like, it's attached now, we're solid. So you can see there's a repair tool in the bottom right. I didn't even notice where it came from. It just kind of ended up showing up there for me. Then you're going to grab this, drag it to the far right, because we're going to need it to jump on out of here. Like I said, this is all attached now, so we don't need to worry about it going imbalanced again, so we can just drag this weight and move it. So I drag it to the far right and jump on it. And now I can run through here. Now we're in the elevator. You're just going to want to repair it with this repair tool and lift the elevator. In the game though, this is going to really screw up a couple of things, as you'll see here. It's going to knock down some of these icebergs. It's going to take out our ship. And our ship's gone. And yeah, I would wonder how far it would go. It's just going very slowly. So I assume like, oh, we'll run a couple feet. No, it's gone. It's very, very gone. And you'll see why in a second. So continue through this pipe here. I accidentally dropped this. So just make sure you bring the repair tool. I thought it was really important. You're going to repair a bunch of stuff, as you'll see in the video. There's a pipe here that's clogged up by this, so we're just going to grab it, pull it out. It's a little bit slow because we're underwater, but we're just going to pull it out. Then you're free to swim in the pipe and open this door. Then I keep dropping those repair tools, so I'm going to pick it up. We're in this new section, keep going, and you'll find another elevator here that we can use and move up. So now what this is doing is it's taking us to the surface, and we'll have a long trek ahead of ourselves while we try and find our boat again. But once it stops here, the above hatch opens. You can swim right on out to the surface. Use the boost as much as you can just to speed it up. You can see where I kind of slow down, speed up when I'm using the boost. And now this will get you the achievement Northwest Passage for resurfacing between the ice. Now this is a long section. I sped it up like 5 times, 10 times here. You can see me jumping along. Honestly made me wonder if I was going the wrong way, but I'm like, there's nowhere else to go. Then we start getting sort of like these obstacles here, like things to jump around on. The ice will tilt, so sometimes it'll tilt too low on you and you can't make it. But I assure you, you are going in the right direction, even though this goes on forever. So just keep on going. Now we're going to stumble along this area. It's the first thing we're going to come across. Just climb up to the top. Then once you're on the top here, we're just going to go on by, and there's a door that we can open, so we're going to head right on inside. As I do here, jump down. And I run over to the far left here, and you can see there's nowhere to go. So just start doubling back, and you're going to crash through the floorboards. And I dropped the canister, so I had to pick it up and just keep going, dropping down. I never like dropping down really harshly, so I tried to grab on and I screwed up there. But now we can go straight to the right, move on. I found another canister here and this piece of fuel. So I grabbed them, chucked them all out the window. This is a long part here. And bringing all these things is going to make it that much longer. So what I recommend is, like, I would take them. You will use these repair tools and such. We're getting close to the end of the game. I don't even think the trash was necessary. You probably... I mean, I would, just to be safe, because we are going to use it for a couple of machines up ahead. But grab this box, bring it to the right. And I did a lot of doubling back to grab all these repair tools and whatnot. You can see we're already using the repair tool to repair this. Then to push it. So there's going to be a lot of me skipping in the video, because I didn't want to show you just walking back and forth, grabbing things. As you can see here, I grabbed this repair tool, I dropped it up top, and then the video is going to skip once I've grabbed all the repair tools. So this next section, you're going to need to be aware of. I tried pushing them, and I was spending like an hour on this section. It was ridiculous. You can see the tools are already up here. So if you're bringing everything, which I did, grab one, run it to like an area like this, drop it, and go back and grab the others. So there's going to be an intense wind. As you can see here, I'm hiding because you'll get blown right back to the start otherwise. So you want to sit and wait for that wind to calm down. And this is where I skipped because I got a bunch of things up and I can just see my dry run. So the wind's calmed down. We're going to start running. Long ways to run, a lot of jumping just to try and get there. And here's another blockade section where we're waiting for the wind to die down. It is a little bit of time in between, like the wind lasts for about 15 seconds or so, I would say. And there's me trying to jump and test it. The wind was still going, so I just got knocked back. And then we can press on. There's a lot of these different areas, as you'll see here. A lot of different areas to try out. So we're on to this next one. You can stop that wall there. Then you'll press on, and what's going to happen here is the ice is going to break. We've got all these pieces of garbage here. I was doubling back there for my other repair tool because I wanted to make sure I kept it. All of this garbage is going to be essential for this area, and some of it for moving on. So we're stumbling across a boat, but this one isn't our boat. But we do need to get it up and running, so we're going to just open this hatch, get into the boat. There's nowhere to go. As you can see, the ice is all melted. I didn't really understand what was going on here, by the way. Like, there's just this guy. I'm not even sure what that's a picture of. Volcano, maybe? Or I don't know if I'm just being silly. I don't know what that is. But anyways, so I got all the garbage down in here. Don't bring it down here. Bring 2 pieces of garbage down here. Not the repair tools, nothing else. So you want to get 1 piece of garbage in the furnace and start heating it up. And if you pay attention up and to the right a little bit, you'll see dripping. What we're doing is we're using the hot air to heat up that section, and we're melting the wall. Because as you can see, there's nowhere to go. I thought maybe we were getting this like boat dislodge. We were trying to get out of here. So now I grabbed the second piece of garbage, and you can see that the wall is actually starting to open up. So this second piece of garbage will open it up enough that we're melting that wall, so we can just stroll on through up there. I'm not sure using both entirely was necessary. Like right now, I'm not sure it's quite wide enough that we can fit through. But I did the whole thing to be safe. Right around here, it looks like it's wide enough that you could probably fit through. But I just did the whole thing in gas. I mean, you're wasting time, I think, if you go up there and you can't fit and have to come back and keep pumping the gas. So right here, I'm certain you'll be able to get through, but I just kept going. So then I grabbed all the stuff, and I was bringing everything throughout the level. And like I said, I won't show what that looks like. But I also got confused with which part you want to go to. So you want to go to the very back here, and then jump up. And I'm just grabbing one item now, and then I'll skip to when I had all the items. So I brought this one way over here, and then I grabbed the rest, as you can see. What I ended up doing though was I ended up pushing it. Like I just thought it would be better that way. And you can kind of see it gets flung a little bit. It was kind of fun doing this, like just pushing things and keeping it going. It does take a bit of time, uses up a bit of effort, but I enjoy doing it. So this is another part where I'll skip and I'll just show, you just climb up this mountain here. You can kind of just fall through that middle there to go and grab the next pieces of stuff. So I grabbed them all. I'm going to speed this part up because we're just running a bunch and it's a lot of running. Nothing you just really want to watch for too long. So I'm just pushing all the pieces down the mountain. Getting them all to the boat. And it gave me a little bit of a hard time, but there it gave me a little bit of an easier time. It was better than that piece tilted up on its side. Much easier, much more consistent. And this is the part that was kind of a pain in the butt. A lot of garbage there, as you can see. I would grab all of it. Here's our boat. This is our actual boat. Get all the garbage on it. We got a bunch in the bottom now, so we can really speed through this next section if you want. You'll see how much garbage I end up with. I don't think I used a whole lot, so you could probably just make things quicker by using a lot more garbage. So you just want to get this pumping, heat everything up, get your boat loose because it's frozen up. Then eventually you get to that point where it's starting to dislodge from the ice. I got the sail going because the wind is going, so we can use the sail. So I'm not sure if this is how it's supposed to happen. The fire stopped, so the ice didn't melt. I just kind of drove through it eventually and it let go. So I don't know if that's supposed to happen, but that's what happened for me. But that will get you the achievement, oh boy, for Reunited for freeing the vessel from the ice. Sorry. Oh boy is the next achievement we're going to be getting, and I'll show you here in a second. But yeah, that's the achievement for freeing ourselves from the ice. Just getting ahead of myself. This game was a lot of fun though, and I will get this next achievement. I was trying to test myself and see when this would save. You can start seeing the waterfall in the back, and I knew that to me that would indicate that there's another achievement coming up. So I was checking for when my save point would happen, but it's not until you get right up here to the buoy. And I'll show you in a second. So here's a rock. I pulled this sail back a little bit. I just didn't want to damage it, but we do have a lot of repair stuff, so it should have been fine either way. But here's our buoy, and this is our save point right when we touch this. And pushing this buoy out of the way, as I'm about to do right now, will get you the achievement, oh boy, for pushing all of them out of the way. I'm sure you can miss some if you were to go under them or whatnot, or didn't surface quick enough at some point. If you watched all my guides, I got this naturally without trying. And you'll see all of them. So if you didn't, I did just from everything I've shown. So to go check them out, it'll show all of them. But that's the last one there, and that will get you the achievement. So if you don't get it there, there's like, you would have likely missed one from before. As I mentioned earlier in this video, all of them have that chain to the bottom, as you can, you'll now see it in this. This is where I discovered that they were there, which is far too late because we need to find 4 of them, and this was the first one I was getting. So I had tested it before, and this is my second attempt at this area, and you'll see why in a second. But I saw it here and I thought I would grab it. And I thought there'd be more later on in the campaign, but nope, there's only the 2 that we had to get. So you had to, and I couldn't grab this here, and that was a big mistake of mine. But you couldn't get any more past this, so this had to be the at least the 4th one if you didn't get it earlier for that achievement. So I just grabbed it just in case, but it really was wasting my time at this point. So if you haven't done that, I would just skip this. It does give you garbage though, so that's good. Or fuel, I should say. I always call it garbage, but it's definitely fuel. So the reason I played this is my second attempt at this area. Because this section will get you the achievement Steady As You Go for navigating the underwater caves near the waterfall without bumping into them. So I saw that waterfall when we got to this area, and that's how I knew this was going to be the location of the achievement. If you watched my videos before, I did assume it was in another section, even though I didn't see the waterfall, because there was a lot of maneuvering through the underwater cave, so I really assumed it was there. This cave is significantly easier though, so if you want this achievement, power to you. This is much easier. There's only one spot that's going to give you possibly a hard time. I messed up my first time. Second time there was no issue at all, as long as you're being slow and cautious. So if you see my other guide, you'll know I suggest sticking in first gear. Just take your time, don't rush it. You don't need to be in second gear, as I'll call it. Here's the gears here that I'm showing you. So take it nice and slow, get down to a point where you're just kind of above the sand here, and I do believe I lower the boat a little bit more just in case, because I find it really hard to tell when you're close to the rocks or whatnot with the sail. So I find that really challenging, but the ground to me seems a lot more clear. I can see where the line is, I know exactly when I'm going to touch it. So I try to stay as close to it as I can to know that I'm not going to hit the rocks. Like, I can't tell if the rocks, I've got 10 feet of clearance here or like 100 feet. Like, I find it really challenging. So don't worry if your fire burns out. It just means you're taking it slower like I am. I think that's the best approach. Though I'm really close to the bottom here, I think, from those rocks. But again, I'm not 100% sure. So this is the one tough part of this level. So I didn't realize it at first, but this rock wall is just going to stop. You can start seeing right now where it's going to stop in front of you. It barely gives you enough clearance that you'll stop and the back of your boat won't hit the cliff behind it. So I'm almost right up against this rock wall now. So that's the part where you especially want to slow in and stop in front of. So I quickly put the water on there. I ran over, and I was hoping to like get to the gear quicker, but I kind of messed up because I've been trying to hold out the zoom out button while I'm doing this. I was afraid the back of it would touch that rock cliff, but it didn't, so that was very fortunate. So you just gotta drop right there, and then stop lowering yourself, and then just start moving forward. But again, I don't know where the rocks kind of start and end. I think I would have hit the rock there for sure, because it looks really dark. Even now, I look like I'm really close to those rocks. I'm guessing I barely had any clearance here at all. But we're just trucking along. And this, when I hit that rock wall the first time, I immediately reset this. So this is my first time going through to this point. I had no idea what to expect. So I'm taking it nice and slow. But you're essentially in the clear at this point. That was the one obstacle, and that was it. It wasn't too bad at all. But I started seeing this land here. So I stopped the boat and I almost lowered the boat, but I switched it so the boat would go higher, plugged it in. I find it really hard to tell with the rock walls, but it seemed to have a lot of clearance there. Then I got the boat moving forward. And this was the only other thing, like I'm just trying to slowly follow this up as it rises, but this part's a lot easier I find than that harsh stop earlier. So it's all just a matter of taking it slow, making sure that fire is going. If you stop, like I said, I don't worry at all. It just means I have more time to set up and reset. I got really close to the rock here. I was sure I was going to hit that. Like, I mean, milliseconds later, and I'm sure I would have hit that rock. So just be careful of that. But like I said, I find that part is much easier than the other. It's just a slow incline that you have to face. And that's it. You can see the cavern opening up here. And that's how you get the achievement Steady As You Go for navigating the underwater caves near the waterfall without bumping into them. So now we've only got a couple of achievements left. 3 more. So there's only 3 things to do in the campaign mainly. One of them is not even doing something, so that's fantastic. So I got some more fuel in the tank here. Then we start lowering the boat. We're just going to settle ourselves into a hot air balloon here in a second. So you can kind of see the parachute of that, sorry, not the parachute, but like the part of the balloon up there. And here's our mechanism that we're going to lock into. So the first thing we had to do is, I wasn't sure what to expect, so I kind of rushed into this. But you're going to want to get the boat just above it. Like I'm going to do here, because we can see that thing we have to grab onto. So you just want to stop the boat and grab onto it with the hook in the back of the boat. Which I'll do here in a second. I'm just going to rush to the back of the boat. And like we do before, I'm just going to lower it and then try to catch the hook as it's falling and hook it up. And that's where I do that. And you can see I'm still having it drop, so it's definitely getting a lot more slack. If I had stopped it after it dropped, I'm certain I could have pulled it. So I mean, that would be a fine way to do it too. It just takes a bit longer to reel it in, like you can see here. But as the line tightens, we're gonna start pulling this in, or out, I should say, revealing this mechanism that we're gonna lower our ship into. So I just reeled this back up and jumped into. I just skipped ahead to the front of the boat here. I looked around to see if there was anything else, but there wasn't. So I just lowered the boat in as low as I can go, got it going forward. Because we're not forward enough. I got the boat started, and I thought maybe I was too low, so I raised the boat a tiny bit, and that let me go right in there. So then what you're going to do is you're going to want to kick the boat into reverse, and then just get the fire absolutely going. And I started raising it a bit just in case, but this didn't make a difference. So just get the fire going, just get it blazing, get into that turbo mode, essentially, and you'll loosen the balloon and get your boat into the air. And this is our achievement for, it's called the Aeronaut Achievement for inflating the balloon and floating over the waterfall. And I've sped this up like a couple more parts because this took a long time. You can see here as I'm moving, it's very clear that I did speed this up. So what I did was I just got everything ready to move into first gear. I always think the mast is taller than it is, and then it occurred to me, like, no, the mast is a lot shorter than I think. So I would just go ahead and get that set up, get everything ready, because you're about to land in the water, and you just want to get moving forward to finish the game. Especially if you're doing a quick run, which I'll explain in a second. So there, boats hit the water, we're going to get moving. And we've only got one other area that we're going to hit before we win the game. So we're just floating on along here. I've sped this way up like 10 times or 15 times or so, because it just does take a long time. So we're just going through the motions, and then we're going to hit this part here. And this is the last area of the campaign. This is the lighthouse. So lighthouse is tall, so like we're just going to climb to the top. You can see there's a box there below the ladder. Grab that, throw it onto this platform. I press the button. Honestly, you don't even need to bother at this point, because we're going to climb this ladder, and you'll see there's a second box right there next to that button. So you're going to want to grab that one too. I mean, I didn't test it without doing both, but I don't see why that area there isn't full. So you want to grab both. You're going to throw this second one on, then press the button to load up both. And then this machine will automatically grab all that fuel and start raising it into this tank up here. We can see that there's the and sorry, I should say that's after I said automatically and I was mistaken. That's after we press the button. It'll start raising, and you can see it'll settle it right there. Like, it'll settle in, it'll get this ready to go and opened up for us, that we can just grab the lever. And I had let go there for a second. We can pull the lever, and it'll get the lighthouse going. And this will get us the achievement, a familiar sound, which is for sounding the lighthouse horn. And I believe, and I might be mistaken, I think it's actually once you press this button, you get that achievement. That's the actual horn part. What we did first was we just spun around the camera, and I don't really understand why. It just has us sailing in reverse now, so you're not. I didn't try going into the boat, but just get the sails opened up. You'll have to adjust them at some point to get sailing. I hope with this guide that it helps, and I just want to touch on that now. If you were able to follow this quickly, perhaps with my guide, there's an achievement for beating the game in 210 minutes. So you can try and go for that. I find, like, if you're navigating the underwater section slowly, you probably won't be able to do that, so it'll likely require 2 playthroughs, in which I'll be doing my second playthrough. So you might want to do a slower one with all the plants and achievements and those achievements, and then a speedy run as quick as you can. Hopefully this helps show you how to get through each area quickly and painlessly. Then you're going to arrive at this final guy. His name is Lone, and this is the achievement arrival for meeting Lone, which essentially marks the end of the game. So I hope you enjoyed these playthroughs. I hope they helped. Hope to help show you how to beat the game, where to get all these achievements. I have a couple other achievement videos showing some of the separate ones, like those flower achievements. Like, comment, subscribe, and thanks so much for watching. Bye, everyone.